All right. And all right. TikTok Live Nation. What it do? One time. What it do? One time. How y'all doing out there? It is your boy KJ back again, doing and talking things of life and godliness, honor and justice, truth, right? Again, something has been co-opted here, but for real, over here, family, the American way. How we doing out there? Welcome in us a different view, family, who believe in, who love after, who hunger and thirst, search and seek to find a different view, family. Welcome in. Today's topic is going to be on wrestling, right? This is something that we have fun with over here as a family. So we're going to talk about wrestling, specifically WWE's competition. We know that the Hall of Fame ceremony was last night. We have not watched it yet. Maybe I have a different boo sound. Hold on a sec. Yeah, that sounds better. Family, we haven't gotten into WWE Hall of Fame. We will. Okay. We're gonna repost this here because again, we may get some weird kind of on YouTube. I've been running into issues lately. When I repost videos that I do of stuff on TikTok or this, that, and the other, where sounds may be involved, you start to get, and it's not full copyright strikes, but they just don't like it. So they'll block certain parts where certain information, or where that sound, where those sounds may be, and all that kind of thing. So we'll see. We're going to try to repost this here on TikTok once we're done. And we'll try to repost this on Spotify, hopefully, right? Places where you can find the podcast. You can find it Spotify. That's the OG. Shout out to OG family, Spotify one time. Spotify, Pandora, and Apple, right? Actually, the other way around. It was Spotify, then Apple, then Pandora. But again, the podcast is on those platforms. You can also find us on YouTube, as we've just mentioned. That's at A Different View 80. That's the name of the channel, right? It's your boy's channel, right? And then you can find the folder. We've made it public. All 200 some odd episodes over the last couple of years. We're coming up on 3 years of doing this, family. Thank you for your support. If we wanted to pull up the stats right now, and again, this is without marketing. We haven't done any kind of promotions or anything of this. This has just been by word of mouth because, again, family, we look, you can use algorithms and we can use all this kind of stuff. There ain't nothing like word of mouth, family. OK, it's like we almost buck back against the natural system sometimes. Right. And we pay the price for it. All of us, me included. Right. But at the end of the day, this has been done without. So, 2,500 streams so far and downloads. This is off of Spotify's books. Heard in like 50 some odd nations now at this point. I believe there's only 200 or 193, something like that in the planet. So, this is good to see. The majority of it's in Vietnam and the United States. So again, shout out. We're all over Central America. I don't know if in South America. I think there's some nations in South America. I know in Asia, of course, we just mentioned Vietnam. There's other places in Asia. We're heard in England, right? We've gone on the podcast about that. I really don't like talking about accolades because this is about getting information out, family, right? But yet at the same end, thank the fan. This thing don't work without the fan. We're going to talk about something on the back end of this, family, because again, massa operates in imagery. And we're going to add a new one in here. We talk about words and phrases. The new one that's going to come up on the books is manipulation. We're going to look at the definition of the word manipulate here. Okay. Because at the end of the day, family, we play in a space with a dangerous enemy, a very greedy, self-centered one. And this is different than self-care. Don't you switch the two now. We're in a space here, family, where look, we mix, we done scrambled them eggs, family. We can't tell the white from the yolk no more. You know what we're saying? So at the end of the day, manipulation is a big thing. Since we introduced that in, let's do this before we get into these video clips and then my commentary on AEW Dynasty and Dynamite. Really, there's only one crowning jewel to this past week's AEW Dynamite. All right. So, and it's not taken away from the rest of the episode. But again, family, you got to understand when you're watching these wrestling things, a lot of this is filler, right? A lot of this is filler. And it's cool because you got to put on the show for like 3 hours, right? So a lot of these matches are going to be filler. We did not talk about Kevin Knight, right? Winning the, I believe it's the TNT title, if I'm not mistaken. Shout out to you, bro. No, that's got to be bigger than that because of the imagery. Again, the black man and woman in the space where Massa reigns supreme and you winning is a big thing, family. Do you understand? Look, there's a time to I was shocked that Kevin Knight won that match. I didn't think they were going to go there yet. This similar kind of thing with Carmelo Hayes. When Carmelo Hayes in WWE beat Ilya Dragunov, I did not think that was going to happen, family, because again, you know the history of this thing. So, you know, Mass is surprising people from time to time, but at the end of the day, you do still stay on the bottom. Okay, again, imagery and manipulation. Let's do the word image. We had done this last time on the Spotify podcast. We're doing it now for the TikTok folks out here. Image definitions, this imagination, imagery. This is where you get all of this from, right? A representation of the external form. So an imagination in your mind is a representation in your mind, right, of a person, thing, or art. Daydreaming, all that kind of stuff, family. This is why we one, be mindful of your thoughts. Two, excuse me. When you catch your kids in there, don't stop daydreaming, Tommy. Family, you got to let it look. There's a way in the scripture. Again, we know the word scripture means script, right? So in the script, this is hey, William Shakespeare already said that the world's a stage. So we just go with it over here on this podcast, right? At the end of the day, the world's a stage. The players have been already set, both male and female, okay? Man and woman, all right? So we know some people do get into space between saying the word male and female like we're talking about animals. Again, we're going to have to come to certain conclusions that we do share certain qualities similar to the animal kingdom while not being animals. But I digress. Image. This is a thing in the mind that is an extension of, a representation of a person or thing in art, right? The general impression that a person this coming from Oxford's dictionary. Okay. Again, we're speaking masses language. We're not speaking the original tribe's language down here, right? They overrode that and they gave us English. So you got to go back to what they're saying here. Impression that a person, organization, or product presents to the public. Again, the general impression. So on this podcast, we just a basic truth. There is general and specific speech. When you talk about each one of the cultures and different things they go through, you can say that as far as a base, kind of a generalized thing. And then there is a specific speech to each one where you talk about each one specifically. We like to master that here on this podcast. Because again, the way Massa manipulates, we're about to get into the word manipulate. You like to will always stay in a space of generalization. When they specify, it will always stay in an ambiguous kind of neglectful or benign neglect is the term that's used. This is where you start getting into gaslighting as words and stuff. They're never going to come out and be like, I'm sorry. You ain't getting that from them, which is why it's unfortunate what we saw. Again, this is coming off of this. We're going to get this and back into wrestling. This is unfortunate what happened with our brothers and sisters in Ghana before the UN. Yet that does not mean you don't do the thing, family. For some odd reason, it really bugs me out in the mind because we know mass is going to be harmful, that we then say it don't make no sense to do nothing. You understand that two of those don't make sense, right? Yeah, you still do the thing, even though they're going to tell you it ain't going to do nothing. That's like saying, I'm not going to work out and exercise because I'm going to die one day anyway. Excuse me, we on TikTok, unalive one day anyway. That don't make, huh? Again, your choice to do so. Don't get me wrong. But no, we're not. So again, the general impression that a person, organization, or a product presents to the public. So again, the man operate in imagery. Entertainment. Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. laid out 9 different areas of entertainment, right? And may you rest in peace, brother, right? One of them is entertainment. The image they're going to put there in your mind. You got to be careful. Manipulation. We ain't even going to do the etymology of image. We'll leave that. We'll leave some homework for folks. We like doing that on the podcast. Again, mental homework is necessary. It keeps the mind sharp. Manipulate. This, what is manipulate's definition? Handle or control a tool, mechanism, typically in a skillful manner. Interesting that the word skillful is there. A while ago in my studies, I was listening to another podcast, and the brother was talking about the word trick. Since we got Trick Williams out there getting into space, having to be disrespectful to Sami Zayn, calling him gingerbread and ginger snap, and why do we have to meet Massa in that space? What's that supposed to do? See, I would rather use the language that is very direct to who they are. They are the controller, they are the slave driver, and this is not saying it's Sami Zayn. We're talking about when you get in this space where you got to get back at Massa. I don't want to use the racial slurs. That's come on. They did that with us. Let them have that space, and we talk to them directly on who they are, like our native brothers called them, that you can look up on the books, Wasichu, right? The Wasichu. What did our native brothers and sisters mean when they called the European when they came here? Let me see if I can. Let's see. Look. Yeah. Takes the fat. That's a Lakota Dakota term that they gave to the European family. The taker or the stealer of the fat family, the one who does not honor treaties on the books to this day, that we play in a manipulative space against justice and freedom. That we're okay putting in our entertainment as an image to help us feel better about how we're being screwed every day. The Wasichu. Let's use words like that, right? Get direct. I don't need to make fun of a person's culture. That's how that man looks. Why am I going to call him gingerbread? What is that? Again, check this out with trick. A cunning or skillful. So when your Muslim brothers and sisters say that they're tricksters, right? When they I know we like to spend time, but this is just like in the movie Encanto, right? We don't talk about Bruno. We villainize Bruno, but Bruno can help. But we'll leave it alone. You ain't got to agree with everything to not see the truth of something, family. This is again we all do this. This is kind of like the infantile behavior. You know what I'm saying? Your parents tell you to clean the room, and we're like, no, I don't want to. No, just clean the room. And then when you come up with roaches, and then you come up with mice, and then you come up with all the nasty stuff, now it's like, now you're gonna go clean the room, but you got more of a problem now. So, cunning or skillful act or scheme intended to deceive or outwit someone. Yeah, these folks are running an illusion, a trick, family. That's tricks, lies, and deceit. Tricknology is another one of those words that's used with our Muslim brothers and sisters, family, because this is how this works. You go into that job every day, you thinking that you're working and making yourself rich, you're making them rich. It's a trick. No. It's a trick using a real thing. Working is a real thing. If a man don't work, he shouldn't eat. Come on now, that's real. But for the amount of people, again, this ties into what happened with Darby Allin this Wednesday. For the amount of people who work, family, when do they eat? No. This is not just for the elite who can go eat scallops and the steak and the filet mignon come on, family. No. This is for everybody too. Correct? The worker has put in more than their due wage, and they're due now. They've been due. So we come right back to the base of a foundation, the quote unquote haves and the quote unquote have nots. Let's get into wrestling one time. Let's go. So AEW Dynamite, AEW Dynasty. Let's start there first. We're gonna go through the different rest. There was nine different matches. We're gonna make this quick. Okay, it's a lot of matches, and we're gonna we're just gonna give the commentary on it. And we're gonna go from there. Your boy got the notes here. Makes it easier and concise for the listening audience and for myself. So here we go. Pre-show highlights. Okay, number one, there's a lot of people in the audience. Let me just see if we can find this real quick. 'Cause I do not remember where it was. Vancouver, yes. Canada, yes. Canada. Okay, right. This we like making fun of our Canadian brothers and sisters. Again, French occupied. My apologies, but this is just history, right? French occupied land up there. Our native brothers and sisters doing their thing. While we're on the subject, because this was powerful. This was impactful. This was really cool to hear this, family, and your boy, again, we learn as we go, on the podcast, how we've always said, hey, black folks and the preachers that made hockey and all that kind of stuff. And when I made hockey, that made a hockey league for people, I just didn't go far enough I left some meat on the bone, as they say. Y'all check out this video here that your boy found on TikTok, man. Shout out to Untaught Truths, right? On this may have been on TikTok, but I think this may have been on TikTok, but we found it on Facebook, right? So again, shout out to Untaught Truths on this one. This one right here. This is the kind of stuff that blows the doors off things, and this is what we like to do. So here you go.
Wait, so we're just pretending the NHL invented it, and not the black men who did it decades earlier? In 1895 in Halifax, Nova Scotia, an all-black league was already dominating the ice, the Colored Hockey League of the Maritimes. But here's the part they never told you. They pioneered the slap shot. They were using early butterfly goaltending long before the NHL made it famous. Black Baptist leaders founded the league to bring young men into church and to crush racist myths about black physical ability. Instead, those men transformed the sport itself.
So, family, we just have questions. We have questions. Why every season? I'm a New York Rangers fan, right? Shout out the New York Rangers one time. But family, we wondering why they don't give credit. This is off the backdrop of April 15th. That was Jackie Robinson Day. Why do you think that Massa does not give credit to this hockey league? Black preachers now again on the books, from what I found, 8 black preachers up in Canada, right, for what the black man and woman can't do. But we'll leave that alone. How many times are we going surfing, right? You can look up black surfing. It don't matter. Skateboarding. See, stop saying what's white and start saying what was stolen. Why with this the slap shot, man? Do you see that? But that would only make sense of the power of that shot, right? Now, this is not taken away from people. Look, so we get into two spaces in the mind here. Unfortunately, we start mixing things. It's like we're alchemists for the wrong stuff, right? At the end of the day, listen, just give credit to where it's due. They did the thing. This is the thing, and we give honor to where it's due. That's all, and then we build from there. So is it only just PK Subban, a couple of brothers? There's a whole league here. operating before the NHL. Anyway, that was just that note that took me there, man. Because again, you know, talking about the Negro Leagues, man, we always talk about Jackie Robinson. What about Buck Leonard? What about Satchel Paige? Right? I'm playing MLB the show 26. See, again, we got to stop acting in space like we know and don't know and who's a black scholar and all. Family, they played around with knowledge on the books. That's a foundation thing that made us all very dumb and unknowledgeable to what is our history. So we can't now get on our high horse. This is another one that I saw. This impacted me so, ladies and gentlemen. This one, this touched my spirit. So I'm looking through, right? You check this out. I don't know if y'all know this, but for those who do, God bless you. For those who don't, you're about to get blessed. Okay. Sankofa. This is a black teaching, an African teaching that says the following: go back, get knowledge. Good God, let it set someone free this morning. Go back, get knowledge, move forward. Don't you know the pain that you see every time you keep seeing black folks putting on the Ritz, as the song go, right? We talking about shining, man. I mean, inventions, hospital stuff. I mean, the Black Angels, y'all go look them up, right? Family, we're done. You know, don't you know we done over here, man? We talking about a discrediting, disrespectful, ungrateful kind of folks. When we just talking one group now, because there's multiples that have helped in life and society, right? Just so much you see that goes beyond Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. In the space of creation and creativity, as the great designer, fashioner, architect, creator, maker, God, who we call above all, has made us to be, just making pyramids and mounds and just all kinds of inventions, family. To slavery? Man, what are we doing? So again, go back. This is boiling down this awesome term, man, Sankofa. Go back, get knowledge, and then move forward. We got it, family. We already know this fool hates us. This is just what it is. Is it everyone? No. Is it a lot of them? Yes. Move forward with those who love you and care about you. This is in our intercultural space. This is in our homosexual space. This is in our heterosexual space. Every space where we move, where there is life, now is the time to move forward and let division fall. Because it is through division that they divide and conquer. What is the name of the Spanish invader, family, that invaded the Americas, along with the French, along with the Portuguese, and along with the British? What is the name in Spanish they gave themselves? The Conquistador. In your Bible, it says that we are to be more than that. Let this mess go. Man, how powerful this was when I seen it. This is why you just learn, family. Again, go back and learn. Don't you get knowledge in right? You're told in everything you get understanding, get knowledge. I'm not going to play in the words. Get knowledge, family, and then move forward. That's what we mean to do on this podcast. So it was a packed crowd in Canada. The pre-show highlights, Camille came back. Everybody, if anybody who's paid attention to AEW remembers Mercedes Moné's body, like heavy, her muscle. So Camille came back. She was beefing with Willow Nightingale to wherever that's going to go. We'll see. She's been doing like this American Gladiators thing, whatever they're doing. It is what it is. Nothing on the sister, but it's neither here nor there. So, but this is just to say, Camille came back. Maya World and Cayenne, man, pretty good tag team. Two sisters. And you know, they just in the space doing their thing. So we hopefully in trying to do tag teams, and you got Megan Bain, whether it's Penelope Ford, hopefully she gets, you know, she gets back healthy soon, or because again, technically they really should be using Penelope Ford more than they're using her, but I digress. This is not caping for massa. We just saying what it is. Whether it's now Lena Cross and Megan Bain, whatever they're doing, they're trying to put these tags together. They're trying their best with the Sisters of Sin. Man, this after Sky Blue got hurt and came back, it ain't been the same. Sisters, this ain't a thing on you. We understand. Like, you know, sometimes you got to change up your wrestling style when you really get hurt. We get it. It's just not the same. You know, unfortunately, while Roxanne Perez and WWE was doing pop rocks and all this kind of thing, they just, it's like they didn't take the time when it was right. AEW has made some missteps. Again, the Lucha Brothers are in WWE because AEW made a misstep. Danhausen is in WWE right now because AEW made missteps. Okay. And we're in a thing now where it's a little bit more forgiving because again, Massa has collapsed all of the groups here, so it's really only WWE or AEW. We don't play in the space about TNA. TNA is a shell of itself. It's owned by WWE, family. We're not Lola. Oh no, it's not really it's owned by WWE, family. Okay. This is why they can do and move players back and forth. We get it. Okay. I wouldn't be shocked. Again, we did not see the Hall of Fame, but even after everything with AJ Styles, I wouldn't be shocked if they put him in TNA. I would not be. Again, this is what it looks like when you're owned. Okay. They can just play around in the space. So there's that part with Maya World as a tag team. Hopefully they introduce them as a tag team in the space here. Hopefully AEW, you know, gets involved back in their tag division. That thing really put them on in the beginning in 2019, and we hope they get back to it. And again, Maya World and Cayenne lost to they lost to, there's a divine something or other. I don't shame on me, right? But you know, it is what it is. So that was kind of a squash match. Then you get to the actual show, right? So the Young Bucks, and it started off hot. Let me tell you something. AEW Dynasty started off hot, man. I thought that pay-per-view was it became more of a snooze fest toward the end. But man, in the beginning, that shows, whew. So you had the Young Bucks versus Okada and Takeshita. Listen. When does Konosuke Takeshita win a main title in AEW, family? We got to stop. We got to listen. Kazuchika, if I'm saying it right, my apologies, brother. Okada has to lose. Yo, he has to lose the title, man. How long is he going to keep this belt, family? How long he going to keep this belt? It's the same thing with Moxley. You had Marina Shafir, and how horrible they used her, man. They still use her weird. And again, they're chasing, and you had to put Ronda Rousey into space. We understand Netflix is trying to put on Ronda Rousey. These people just keep coming back. Hopefully she don't go back into WWE, man. We done been through this MMA experiment. Can we stop, please? Can wrestling just be wrestling and leave martial arts for martial arts? Can we do that? Sheesh. We understand some things bleed over, but it's like they done become some hoes for this thing now. Like it's all the breaks are gone, and we're just oof. So there was that. It was good. It was funny. It was entertaining. You could see really between all four men, but the funny element that was added in there from Okada and Takeshita beefing, man, it was good. It was good, right? Good wrestling match. They always put on good wrestling matches. Of course, we know this is going into space where you're going to wind up having, and it's not any longer Edge because WWE owns it, but Adam Copeland, Christian Cage, the Young Bucks, and FTR. They're going to try to recreate what happened with Edge and Christian with a different format. They're all older now. We get it. So we'll see how that looks down the road. You can just tell that's coming. So we'll see if they do it for Double or Nothing. If they go further in the year with it, we'll see. Right. Number 2, Jericho and Ricochet. Shout out Chris Jericho coming back. Nah, this is the Ayatollah of rock and roller. Get a little bit more hype. He played around with the list. I don't know if y'all remember the list of Jericho, right, from WWE, but he brought it back. Again, Chris is one of these kind of guys that's not really controlled, and he knows what's going to work for him. He ain't really trying to. So it was good to see him not go back to WWE, right? And in a space where there's a lot of older people and if they're gonna bring anybody from NXT up, this thing is gonna get overloaded and more overloaded and more overloaded. I don't even know how they're gonna be able to do all this talent stuff. That's already with their issues with creative. I'm just saying what it is. Then you get the let's see what did I say here? WWE missed out on Jericho. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, it is what it is. Yeah, Jericho's using the list gimmick. Ricochet wins with the distraction. Let's see. The next note here: Darby Allin, AEW's Jeff Hardy and Mick Foley mix. I mean, yeah, that's who Darby Allin is. Versus Andrade. That was the third match, right? And I mean, good match. Andrade's doing what he's doing. He's divorced from Charlotte Flair now, so it's open season, and the brother is making it known on the show. And he's in the stands with these mamacitas and other women of ethnicity, and just getting their phone number and taking pictures with him and getting kisses from him. He just he in the space, right? And then he starts over with his pads and he takes his pants off and he's got on like these wrestling, I don't know, shorts, trunks, underwear, whatever you want to call it, right? So he's doing this whole gimmick. It is what it is. Andrade's a good wrestler though, so some of this stuff is what it is. I got some note here. Drop kick in the stands. Landing on the stairs. Maybe Darby Allin took a hit. I had forgot. It's been a few days since I've watched it, so I don't remember all the stuff. But again, Darby Allin has taken so many hits and so many. And people can we can get into space. We're gonna play you a clip here in a minute. Again, of Bubba Ray talking his stuff, man. And this time it's not about him. It's not about Bubba Dudley talking about Devon get the tables. It's him doing this ambiguous mess again. Manipulate. Okay, I have to be honest here, family. We got into Trick talking about a skillful manner, but manipulate, to handle, control, a tool, a mechanism, people, okay, who can be tools for construction, deconstruction. You can be weaponized, family. That's a thing. Massa does that on many levels. But anyway, we're gonna let it go. Typically in a skillful manner. So that's where we got on the difference between trick or the similarities between trick and manipulate, because again, skillful. See, this is why we don't discredit. I'm not making fun of their intelligence. Why? Because again, the so-called white man is able to do this kind of devilry. So you couldn't make fun of their intelligence. They are intelligent on a high level when you're able to manipulate stock markets and manipulate war and battle. Family, again, war is confusion, so we like doing a separate. Again, when you look at the etymology of war and from our Proto-Germanic language, brothers and sisters, as I like to say, this is what it means. It means confusion. That's what war means. When you get past all the physical battle stuff that they give you in the definition, get down to the real meat of it. It means confusion. So battle is battle and confusion is confusion. And they put confusion in battle, which is why they call it war. Family, that's you got to come to that conclusion. You have in World War II, yet you could have the partition in India. Family, my Indian brothers and sisters right over in the East, talk to me one time. Huh? Let folks stand up now and start testifying. See, that's why I like these interviews sometimes that people do in the street. Go up to these people and start talking to them and ask them about. Go up to the Caribbean brother. Ask them if they come from Africa. And what you're going to find out, the people in the Caribbean are going to tell you they was there. Go to your Maori brothers in Australia. They're going to tell you the same thing. Anyway, let me leave that alone. Skillful manner. So we ain't going to make fun of folk. I ain't got time for the racial slur. We're good. Right? Sometimes with my own people, I'll use it. We say Negro, but again, Negro in Spanish is black. So so we play there. But some of this stuff, I personally, everybody's, again, to each their own. I just don't have time for that. So that was Darby Allin in their match, right? Edge and Christian, FDR. Again, the crowd reaction. Nobody likes FTR. They shouldn't. They're being rude, disrespectful. So, I mean, it's what it is. Again, you wouldn't like the people who are rude and disrespectful to you. This is why I only like in business, all this stuff. I got the cute little smile for everybody and stuff. This is like this thing that happened in Ohio where this woman comes up on this black family talking about they don't live there. There comes a certain part where there's certain things here now and they play in this space to get your reaction. So you have to be careful what reaction you give them. But if in the script, again, in the scriptures, if it tells you that the spirit of the man is subjected to that person, right? I'm just saying, you can look it up. If that's the case, family, then we have control over. Look, you're being told. You're being told, be angry and sin not. We have control over this thing. We got to learn how to control these things. Nobody said it's not coming. We said learn how to control these things. Anyway. And our Buddhist and Hinduist brothers and sisters have a lot of teaching, on how to control oneself. This is a thing. Number 5, the TNT Championship here, gauntlet match again, which we just talked about. We have the aforementioned Kevin Knight. Shout out to you, brother. Right. This title is vacant due to Kyle Fletcher's injury. He got hurt. Kevin Knight. Again, I think it's a good move. If listen, this is a competition, family, and we're trying to do this on the thing of right and wrong. That's the idea anyway. So if that's the case, it's good to see that Kevin Knight, again, black man, tan brother, got hops. Me personally, I think Javon Evans has more hops than Kevin Knight, but we're not really going all that far into the space. It's just good to see these brothers doing their thing. Okay. All right. Even though it's in massive space, because this is not owned by, come on now, right? At the end of the day, TNT champ, Kevin Knight. Right. So shout out to your brother one time. Number 6, the AEW Women's Championship. Again, this is starting to get old with Tekla. We get it. And Stardom, and she knocked out the president there, and this. She a bad, what? And her whole gimmick of calling other women, a bunch of dumb, what, right? So we understand how we get funky in the street, especially when sisters get into space, right? And when we say sisters, we're not just talking about black women. We're talking about women in general. They get it, as sister to brothers, men, right? Okay. At the end of the day, man, it'll get funky, right? We understand, okay? But again, her with the Sisters of Sin and again, Julia Hart they've been trying with Julia Hart for a minute, man. They like this girl. That's the only thing I can think of. Right. Because again, certain things is not hitting. I think it's okay to say it. It's not hitting, but it's cool. We'll see where it goes. We've seen Hikaru Shida come back. It was good to see Hikaru Shida back. It really is, man. She put it on. She put it on during COVID, right? This sister can go. This Asian sister can go, man. So it's good to see her back, right? So again, Jamie Hayter versus Tekla for the championship, of course. It was one of these. Let me see. Jamie Hayter should win the title. She should. I mean, this is because how long, and when she keeps coming up talking about this, please, right? Anyway, side note, good to see Hikaru Shida back, like we just said. I believe AEW needs her to combat WWE's international flair. So again, you're talking Asians, Latinas, so on and so forth. They need this. You have it with Okada and Takeshita. Again, Okada, they're playing in this space where Okada's had the belt too long. It's time to lose it. Okay. So there's just certain ones of these things where some of these old tropes of why AEW exists in AEW. So this is us just ever being careful. When you talk the Rebellion versus the Empire, not saying that they're going that route, but this is the space that they're playing in. Again, you got one group here who is okay regulating how folks win. So if you're going to be opposite and you're going to be the rebellion too, then you can't be doing that, right? Okay, we get it. There's time for storylines and all this. We get all that, family. So a lot of times people come back to me like, well, we understand that part of it. Again, it's just you go on too long. We don't need a 1,300-day bloodline story, family. You understand what we're talking about? Shout out our Samoan brothers and sisters, but that's mess, family. That's no. We understand you want to go back to Bruno Sammartino. Hey, he was an Italian, so we trying to do the Samoans a solid. Listen. At the end of it, and it's the same thing. People go, man, KJ, why you just like a match, man? It's just, again, I don't get into that space of just liking. When they manipulate things, I'm good on just always sitting down and taking a show. Oh, man, you got to be aware of what's going on. Anyway, as far as the match is concerned, it felt like a Mercedes Moné match, like a TBS title where it's just special between her and Chris Statlander, where it's going on and it's going on and it's going on, and they're not going to give it to the woman that needs to be winning. That's what it was like, right? So again, we hope at some point that Jamie Hayter does win the championship here, and that they move on, or even if you wanted to do a double back and forth, like just have, again, like we're going to talk about with Dynamite. But shocking enough, we're going to give a shout out to MJF. But this hold on. Will Ospreay versus Jon Moxley for the Intercontinental title. That's number 7. Family, we know this is his return match. Normally, and it's not always, but normally it would be nice to see folks who return from these matches win these matches. We understand there's certain traditions in wrestling. Good God, can you break them every once in a while? Can you do it more frequently? We're just saying. We're just to the CEOs and the OOOs and whatever titles you got to give yourself. Please, those over creative and stuff. Listen, just from we ain't going on this mark thing neither. We're talking about what the fans want to see. That's what you do it for. It's not just for the business of getting you tickets and stuff. The reason you're getting tickets is because people want to come see a product. And at the end of the day, Moxley holding on to this belt, like how long we understand this company is built around Dean Ambrose to an extent, right? Based off of how poorly he was used, because they too PG to have a hardcore space. Yet the foundation of WWE in the modern sense is built on the hardcore sense. We still talk about the Hell in the Cell match in '98 and the exploits of Mick Foley. Shout out Long Island, New York one time. And the exploits of Mick Foley getting thrown off. People can talk about whatever. You should be shocked at how the woman gives labor and then she's back to work, and they put it in songs, family, right? So again, you could have a man throw another man off a building and he keep moving. This is the same kind of thing here with Moxley. Like we get it. How he's been used and he was abused. He was definitely that oddball in the Shield while they're playing off of that in the space between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. We really hope that's the first night we can get on past all this. I really don't want to see it on the second night, just bleeding over into WrestleMania for a second. I could care less about that CM Punk trash, him talking all that garbage about Roman Reigns, his family. You ain't got to do a storyline like that. But this is Phil Brooks. So, again, he plays in the space of the voice of the voiceless while being the guy collecting a check in the back. And there's nothing wrong with making money, but there is something wrong with making money at the and we understand that they play in a space of mixing reality and stuff like that. This is the same thing we had about Jerry Lawler's heart attack. On Raw, we all listened to a grown man, an elder, have a heart attack. And then all of a sudden, Paul Heyman and him are playing in the space, making fun of it a couple weeks later. 3-4 weeks later, whatever it was. What are we doing? We making fun of death now. How about you go do that with Owen Hart? See, this is what we mean about this sitting in the seat of the scornful. Family scorning means to make fun of and mock. There's a difference between comedy and when this goes too far. Family, what are we doing? We're watching a man dying on TV. We making fun of it now? For entertainment? Yeah, we some hoes for entertainment. Anyway, Will Ospreay, Jon Moxley, AEW Intercontinental title. Love the start. Start was cool. Will Ospreay hit him with the hidden blade is right out of his bang. Okay. Like that part is cool. And then, it gets on the dragon into the match, and it's headshot after headshot and necks and, all this stuff. And they're commenting about it and, all that kind of thing. And Jon Moxley wins. It's just, again, these guys need to lose, put the title on other people, get the eyes onto something else. Even if you wanted to have matches on the back end where these heels, per se, come back and fight these baby faces, Again, good guys, bad guys for folks who don't know, right? That's babyface the good guy, heel is the bad guy in wrestling. That's what it is. At the end of the day, family, like this is, let's do the thing. So I guess they're going to drag it out. Maybe again, Will Ospreay is going to win at Double or Nothing. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. Again, him and his fiance and wife. I actually thought he was married, but is what it is, right? So Kate Windsor, right? They're both over from England. So this is, we'll see how that goes. If they're going to play around again, WWE, everybody is chasing everybody. WWE has switched up its style because of AEW, and then AEW claps back. But this is what it is. Although AEW got a one up right now on WWE, what happened on Dynamite. Number 8, the Dogs versus the Conglomeration. Roderick Strong is now part of the Conglomeration. He was going back and forth with that. It's cool to see Finley's son, Dave Finley, in the Dogs, right? Clark Connors and Gabe Kidd. Gabe Kidd is a weird dude. Gabe Kidd always gives me this skinhead, meaning to unalive you right where you stand type of white person. We just say. Excuse me, we're on TikTok, YT person, right? Okay. So at the end of the day, it gets a funky space. So that's number 8. Kyle O'Reilly return. Let me shout out Kyle O'Reilly one time. That brother took Jon Moxley to his limit. He beat him a bunch of times. Matter of fact, he beat up Jon Moxley, just to be quite honest. The man has a motor and he can go into the deep waters. So he ain't looking for no 5-second knockout. He's okay fighting you for 5 minutes and beating you. So that's a cool image to see, right? It was funny with the Conglomeration's little 90s entrance. It felt like watching Friends or, Perfect Strangers, one of these kinds of 90s shows for those who remember, right? For those who don't, of course, look it up and see some things. But it had that kind of joke to it at their intro. And the Conglomeration won the Trios titles because this thing was for the Trios titles between the Dogs and everything. Now, Gabe Kidd got hurt. I think he hurt his shoulder, right? So they just, they called the audible, but it was cool. Maybe that was going to happen anyway all along. Probably not. But at the end of the day, it's cool to see the Conglomeration with the Trios titles. We'll see where it goes from there. And then Kenny Omega and MJF. Good match, but MJF won. Right now, that gets into this, and this is where we're going to end. This is where we're going to end. And we're gonna go about our day, right? Everybody's been talking for a minute, so this is the part here where we'll see where we can post this, because folks get in a very weird space. So let's go there. Here we go.
Handing over the Dynamite Diamond ring to referee Aubrey Edwards, and now, come on! The low blow behind the referee's back.
Once again. You can't get too low for MJF.
No, he used that Dynamite Diamond ring. Oh, the side headlock. But, Darby! Fires back! The low blow of his own, and now Darby Allin.
Going for the Scorpion Death Drop.
Scorpion Death Drop! Hell yeah! Cover it! Whoa! Oh no! Come on! Drop by Darby!
Trying to roll away. No.
I hate to ruin the moment here, but as we're going through this, which is really cool how they're doing this corner to corner kind of thing. Normally you see this in strap matches where you got to go corner to corner. You got to hit all 4 corners. So I think this is cool. They're doing this kind of imagery. Brian Danielson on the mic with this event, given his history in WWE with the Authority and Occupy Raw, Mr. Occupy Raw one time, right? We talking about the fans, family. See, somewhere along the line, I don't want to go too far because we got to get back into this. At some point, the boss can keep talking all this crap they do about the worker as much as they want to. You don't get nothing without these wrestlers. You can have the nice ring with the nice lights, with the contract to Netflix or Fox Sports or whoever you want to be on. You can have Pat McAfee talking a whole bunch of trash. You can have TKO, or whether Vince allegedly, this is on the books, of which he is currently allegedly being sued for orchestrating the sale between TKO and, almost said TikTok, TKO and WWE. But again, so now when you get mad that TKO is doing a thing, just realize that if he is convicted for this, again, we're saying allegedly, because we know Massa justice, these laws, this is made for him. So just to keep it all nice and cozy for Massa, allegedly, if he is found guilty for this, then just know all the weird stuff you watch on TKO is Vince is doing. Just know all the weird stuff. This is for the WWE fan out there. All of whatever you think looks weird and it's why they doing it, just know that's Vince's fault. We saying if he gets convicted, because again, this is going to be long, drawn out, like normally what happens with Vince McMahon. It normally is quick with you when you do wrong in society. It's never quick for me. It's never quick for Massa. Okay. Anyway, we like this. This is like back in the day, a couple of years ago, between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. See, again, we some hoes for entertainment. We like watching that. You see what I'm saying? Dysfunction. Functional stuff, we got to make fun of that. Because again, we talking when you're under Massa system in your mind. You got to make fun of the functioning stuff. The dysfunctional stuff, man, you get that good popcorn, right? And you just sit there. Family, this is why sometimes I just turn that kind of mess off. Why am I? There's something else I could learn. There's other things we could be doing. Again, to each their own. We're not talking down. I do it just like anybody else. But we're just saying on some of these things, it's okay to call it out. It's okay. Let's get back.
Darby will have any of it. 4 in a row for Darby Allin. Oh, the side headlock. That's right. Takeover. He's got him hooked. 2, 3. Oh my God.
Darby Allin is the new AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Darby Allin. Shout out to you, bro, one time. You know, we're talking about family, man. Shout out Darby Allin one time. When does the hard worker, the one doing all of the stuff, all of the promotions, you know, a bunch of people on jobs, family. Yeah, and we know, right, for those who are disrespectful in this space, they're like, yeah, see, look at you simps. You need this, that, and that. Meanwhile, they're the ones behind the scenes manipulating division, destruction, and damnation, family. But the worker who is there under that sick system. See, we looking for a belly. We looking for a beast, like some mythical or spiritual creature to come out, family. You're already in the belly of the beast. When you can go to work every day, make pennies on what you give Massa in profit every day, to no accolade. Just that good paycheck you're supposed to be thankful for. Pennies that they're giving you. Again, I said pennies to what you giving as profit to Massa. And you telling me at this point we shouldn't stand up for workers' rights? They're okay introducing AI in the game to get you out of the job, the workforce, family. That's what all this is. That's what that strike was with those New York workers on the harbor, on the docks. Because they're trying to bring in robotic stuff and we need more workers. We need to have better paid, better informed employees. We're not looking for no robot. But what Massa give you? Again, the justice in his system. And we say he, because this thing is made by so-called YT men. It's made for them. No different than you watching it in the TV show Bridgerton. And we're going to get into Bridgerton season 1. We may leave it for the Spotify family. So again, y'all tune in, subscribe in. right? Hit the bell and stuff so that when I try to do it every week, sometimes it's every other week. But again, when the new one drop, ding, yep, he's there. Okay, we can listen. That we're just saying what it is. And on top of that, if there's any information of anything you have seen so far, Massa playing the space of always eliminating info. Whenever Massa is at the rise, information is hard to find. Whenever they're on the downfall, it's easier to find. Save the information, family. Hit the download button, save it to whatever file you need. We're talking about when there's certain books and all those things. I encourage folks to get the books that we mentioned certain things from. So when we're talking about Californian Indians and they find dark-skinned Californian Indians back in the day when they up and around trying to invade, explore. At the end of the day, family, make sure that you save that information, get the books, have them on hand, because this is where they challenge folks so that they can continue a society where they discredit the worker. This man, no, oh, he put himself through glass, this, that, and the other. Jeff Hardy was supposed to win when Jeff Hardy did. Why does it always have to be the strong body-built person is the man? What about the emo family? What? Wait. You have, again, we talking imagery now. This man, MJF, all he doing is lying, cheating, and stealing. That's how he wins. Again, we talking imagery, family. That's how he win. Hitting everybody with the dynamite diamond ring. Got to have a bunch of goons help him do his dirty work, especially when there's people stronger than him. Family, come on, talk to me. Where have you seen that in life before? We could get into the term buck breaking, and we'll leave it just right there. We ain't going to explain it. We'll just say the word. Y'all look up what it is for those who don't already know. This wasn't one person just did stuff like that to our dear Black brothers and sisters, African brothers. No. It's a group of people taking the strong person. Again, how does the strong person come in your house is what is said in the script, family. How does it happen? How does a worker who's holding up that company all across these lands, all across this planet, there's various companies, these workers in these factories. My, oh my, man. How disrespectful and wasteful Massa is. And it show up in wrestling, family. You want to see Darby Allin's win. Who's the other person? You want to see the Matt Cardonas win. You want to see the Rusevs win. You want to see, gosh, anybody in the comments, put some names of wrestlers, man, that should win. You want to see these people have these championships, family. That's the point. The draw now watch this from Bubba Dudley. Watch the fool-headed mess come out his mouth here. Just listen how they play in this space.
We don't know if taking the strap off of Max at this moment in time, when the AEW ratings are higher than they've been in forever. We don't know. But I can say this. Tony Khan, I applaud you. Great job, Tony. You got balls. He said earlier in
I cannot stand these folks who stand in a space. I don't care if you wrestled or if you didn't, because we're talking in the mind, family. The physical action is all well and good and should be applauded, and it is over here. But when you get in the mind and you don't know, bro, ain't you watching the fan base in AEW? Who do you think? This is the group who is okay saying F ICE, family. What? And a company that's not muting them every time they say it. Damn near every time they say. I don't think there's been one time they've ever. Where's the expression, family? Can there only be expression for Massa and none for the slave? We just asking questions. We know under Massa's system that's the case. This is supposed to be the land of freedom, opportunity, etc., etc. We know a lot of that is a skillful illusion. It's a trick. But still the truth of a phrase they are playing with, because this is the land of opportunity and growth here. They just turned it into the land of opportunity and growth for themselves. But I digress. And whoever they choose to invite over here, again, I digress. At the end of the day, family, him questioning Bubba questioning this family. This is what the fan want to see. We couldn't play the rest of that clip because, again, his theme music is playing and they like to play in this, oh, you don't have rights to this, that, and the other. OK. And until we get to that point where we can have a covering over that or however much that costs, we try to stay away from that because we don't want people interrupted in hearing the whole of a video. OK. But again, you're in the master system. So this is how it works. Let me just do this real quick here. Just got to keep the live going there because I've been on now for about an hour. Okay, but we had to get the information out here. It's been a minute since we've been on, so. Darby Allin winning was the right call, brother. We'll play the rest of this. It's only a minute. Darby Allin winning was the right call. We've seen MJF as champ already. Okay. We know there was a space there. He got hurt. There's been contract issues, all that kind of stuff. Again, this is the shout out to MJF. Like, and maybe this was the company doing this to MJF, but if this was MJF's call along with Darby, shout out to you, bro. Because again, at the end of the day, you know you're going to win again. There's a good shot. They're never giving Darby Allin another shot at the AEW championship again. This is the same thing with Jeff Hardy. What we know, the first thing everybody's like, oh, but Jeff got himself in legal troubles. Yeah, we know. We are a discrediting people. So it's real quick to find those excuses. And we're not taking away from the fact that Jeff Hardy did, again, horrible things to himself and others, okay, under substance abuse, family. We're not taking that away, okay? Things that were wrong in him, things from doing wrestling, because the body goes through some pain now. And all you got to do is work these jobs out here and stand on your feet long enough and have your hip and your back and your ass or whatever start hurting, your feet and whatnot. Come on, family, right? And we all doing things to relieve the pain. So again, before we start going down people's throats, maybe a little bit more tact and mercy here. We're just, again, to each their own. We're just saying what it is, right? Let's finish out this clip.
The week in an interview that he was going with his gut. He goes with his instincts. It's a one-man creative show, and I'm cool with that. I'd rather a one-man creative than a multi-team creative. And Tony pulled the trigger last night. And we are talking about it today.
You can say, hey, Darby, no. Put the title at the highest, more of importance. But without people caring about you, which is what we're talking about right now, it don't matter if you're the champion. They put the...
Hey, Mark Henry, hey, brother, damn it, I hate see it. See, this is the stuff we talk about. I hate seeing our people chime in on this crap in this fashion. What, bro? Hey, yo, what? You've had to fight for your own brothers and sisters over in WWE not being used correctly. You know, it's unfortunately to watch what has happened with the Usos, with Jey Uso and stuff. Look how low Jey is now from where he was last year. Just 1 year, how massive play in this space. It don't take long. These laws and stuff they came out here, the Racial Integrity Act, all this stuff, man, family, that thing happened like boom, just like that. They don't need a lot of time, just like you don't need a lot of time to do what you got to do. We don't need a lot of time, family, to start building up our own wrestling leagues, hockey leagues, football league, baseball, basketball league. We don't need a lot of time. We need dedication. We need to embrace sacrifice and do this thing together. That's what they're doing. Got this for, and so much so in his mind now he's talking this stuff. He's going on to then compare this thing to David Arquette. Bro, David Arquette? Did he swanton bomb through a glass pane? Has David Arquette taken the flag of the company he works for and went on some spiritual journey, whatever, on some mountain somewhere and put the flag there? Up in some mountain somewhere? Some Tibet mountain somewhere? No. But Darby did that. David Arquette was an actor that WCW was trying to put in a space to have some kind of joke or whatever, because many things they didn't take seriously. They got too caught up in themselves and didn't take, again, this is for any company, including WWE. These are things that we are all subjected to. No matter how high up you are, that's part of the deception talking to you. We are all subjected to this mess. Again, family, all have sinned means all have sinned means all will means all are sinning. Okay, this is nobody is better than the other. Massa kicks that garbage to you as a way to divide and conquer. And while everybody has their own gifts of them own selves that would then make them special to another, that doesn't make you better than a person. That just means you have specific talents to yourself. We become a haughty people. That's why I don't use that word pride, family. Pride means you're supposed to have an elevated knowledge of yourself. Pride is not the problem. Haughtiness, vanity. When you get into that weird space, like my stuff don't stink. No, everybody poo-poo stink. And you go in a public bathroom where people clearly cannot make it to the toilet. And you got that thing all over everywhere. What are we playing darts with our feces, family? What are we I don't get it. No, don't sit here and compare this man to David Arquette, bro. What are you? Didn't they keep you down, bro? See, it's unfortunate how we forget, man. It's this sexual chocolate thing, huh? Or schmexual. We on TikTok, right? They had him playing in that coonery, buffoonery space for the longest in WWE, and anybody that's old enough, like my age, that remembers it. After he come about the nation to domination, family, we already know what it was. He was a goofball. That's what they got for. Never mind. Let's continue.
Champion on Arquette. Did the people care? No, they didn't. It was a novelty item. But if Darby can make them care, he can win it, lose it, and then they'll give a damn. They'll have one opinion or another.
I have questions as we come to the close here, family. Do these folks who go on, again, this is from Busted Open, right? So nothing against the platform. We're just using it to illustrate. Okay. What it do? Huh? This is for Bubba Ray. This is for Devon. This is for Spike Dudley, right? Since you want to be in this kind of, again, a manipulative space here. Well, I don't know if they're going to, huh? Did they know about y'all when you came in the league? We're just going to say league all that while ago. Especially bringing on Spike Dudley and using him in a skinny boy. Come on, family. Skinny man, I should say. What are we doing? Same thing with Marco Stunt and Jurassic Express, right? Indie scene stuff. This is the idea. Creativity. See, again, under Massa, creativity is restricted. Outside of Massa, it's not. What the hell is wrong with people? What are we doing? And then wonder why we don't have a space to operate in, because we're not giving ourselves a space to operate in. They're going to take it away from you, and we're not giving ourselves a space. The Negro can only do these things in order to be accepted amongst their own. What does that mean? We come out on podcasts and conferences and everything else, talk about we the original people of the planet. Meanwhile, when it starts coming to different things that maybe shouldn't be so black enough, now we can't do it. We were again, cowboy is a disrespectful thing because they call it your boy. Think about that, grown men dissing grown men. So the cow hand in the midland of America, in the South, anywhere else where there's farmland, doing their thing, doing the rodeo thing, just like the so-called YT person. Again, you deal with a disrespectful, ungrateful people, family. That's what this is. Just boil it right down. And while we all deal with it, there are certain people at the top of the class with this. That's the point. Any tag team, Edge and Christian was like that. You just name them. The Young Bucks were like that. You get in a space, you gotta. But see, this is the part between Mark Henry and him here doing this foolishness. The fans already wanted Darby Allin. This is nothing new. They've been cheering this man. Every time he's ever gotten close to the AEW championship, they've been cheering this man. I guess the emo and alternative person don't have a space in life, huh? Look at that under Massa system. The emo and the alternative brothers and sisters do not have a space with Massa. You're not wanted. How disrespectful. How disrespectful. It's the same issue they had with, what's her name? What's her name? Because we ain't shying away from nothing. People got a problem, man. Who's the transgender sister in AEW? Nyla Rose. Yeah. They had a problem with that every commission. Well, we don't. You got Mae Young taking 3Ds. Yo, man, what the woman can't do with men. You won't play in that space, so it's okay for that. But it's not. So you just don't want to see it. See, come right out and just say it that way. Don't operate in a manipulative space. Say you don't want to see it. That's not fair to them, but just say you don't want to see it. It's weird, man. It's weird. We're gonna see what WWE bring again. Like we had already been weeks before. We said it's gonna be mid Mania because we shout out the youth one time, man. We think this thing gonna be mid, okay? And they're gonna try to big it up, and they're gonna do this 2-night thing, and you know how many people there were, and you know it's the same 60,000 people, but all of a sudden it became 120,000. Yeah, we know. Again, trick, lies, and deceit. That's how massa works. And we're just gonna call it out at this point. Again, this is not meaning I'm not a wrestling fan. None of that stuff. Please leave those excuses somewhere else. When you care, this is how you speak, whether one side or the other. That's how this is, right? So that's what I got you. That's what I got for y'all today, family. Thank you very much for hopping on with your boy. We love y'all. God bless y'all. Happy WrestleMania weekend, right? We hope that y'all have a powerful and an impactful weekend here. Enjoy it. Get out if it's sunny, get out there. If it's sunny and it's windy and it's a little cooler, bundle up, right? This is the whole thing just on the health side here on the back end of it. The reason people are getting sick when you look this up between hot and cold, this is a thing with our parents back in the day, but I didn't realize this until studying it and the science of it, right? Doctors and nurses and all this kind of stuff. You hear this, man, chime in, right? Leave comments, all that kind of thing. The hot, right? You keep your mucous membranes right when you bundle up like that. And as a result of your mucous membrane being right, it can defend when viruses are in the air, bacteria and all that kind of stuff. So you're not getting these nasal colds and all that kind of stuff. When we do this Herculean type of Amazonian type of we're going to go out there with not having the right clothes on and all this other kind of stuff. Now when it's cooler, it thins out those mucous membranes. And then as a result, again, this is something you can look up on the books, family, right? This is what happens between hot and cold as far as your body is concerned. And then as a result, if I'm wrong, y'all hit me up in the comments. Again, we already looked at it with our own two eyes. So at the end of the day, that thing gets thinned out, and now somebody else is coughing around you, and they wiping they dirty nasty all over the place. That bacteria, those viruses, they get in the air, they get into your mucus. Now you got no blocker, and you get sick. That's how it works. So again, you want to be out here enjoying the sun, even if it's cooler, bundle up. Don't try to be cool and wear less, bundle up. Right. And then, we just enjoy the spring, family. That's what it's about, right? New life beginning, new year beginning, as they say, as far as life is concerned, right? So family, thank you for walking this road with me. I love y'all. God bless y'all. And until next time, and as always, look to find the beauty in a different view.